Hello and welcome to Harvard Stadium in Boston, Massachusetts for tonight's NWSL matchup between the visiting Washington Spirit and the Boston Breakers. Alongside former Breaker Catherine Donnelly, I'm Scott Sudikoff. We thank you for tuning in to tonight's Sunday night matchup in Boston, the Spirit and the Breakers. And Boston coming off of a big 4-1 victory this past Wednesday, snapping a losing streak. It was good for the Breakers to get a win here on the home field.
Yeah, and there was a lot of fresh faces in the starting lineup. Coach Durkin had some changes off the bench starting, and one of those fresh faces had a breakout game. We'll talk about her just in a couple minutes.
Just a couple moments, we'll look at her. But first, we take a look at the current standings in the NWSL. Washington at 4-4-1 on the year, coming off of a win this past Monday on Memorial Day, a 3-2 win, a stoppage time goal scored by Christine Nairn for the winner in that one. So Washington right now in 5th place with 13 points on the season, a -1 goal differential coming in, 1-2-0 on the road. And the Breakers still at the bottom of the standings now, 2-6-0, 2-4-0 at home this year. And this game wraps up the 5-game homestand. Taking a look at the players to watch in this one, and for Washington, it's the 30-year-old Diana Matheson.
For the Spirit, number 8 is definitely the player to watch. She's consistently finding space in the attacking third. She's a Canadian international. She has 5 goals and an assist so far in her 9 games. So she leads the Spirit, and she ranks 3rd in the league overall. So she'll be one to keep an eye out for sure.
And for Boston, we take a look at that fresh face, that breakthrough performance from this past Wednesday. Jasmine Reeves, a heck of a performance for the 22-year-old from Virginia Tech.
Yeah, number 7, she's a rookie out of Virginia Tech. She was a 21st selection in the draft this year. Prior to that game, she just had 86 minutes in 3 games played, and she scored the first hat trick of the 2014 season for the league. So she has now 3 goals and an assist in 2014.
Yeah, 3 goals on 3 shots on Wednesday. So a very efficient outing for Jasmine Reeves as the Breakers beat Portland 4-1 this past Wednesday. The Breakers will try to build on that performance as they take on the Washington Spirit in Boston tonight. Starting lineups in the opening kickoff coming up next. Boston Breakers Soccer is brought to you by Bertucci's, a proud partner of the Breakers. By We Got Soccer. We Got Soccer is proud to partner with the Breakers for their 2014 campaign. By the University Sports Complex, a partner of the Breakers, the largest sports facility in all of New England. By Steward Health, the title sponsor of the Boston Breakers. By Katz Sports Performance Center, the official performance training provider of the Boston Breakers. By TCG Network Services, a proud sponsor and the official IT services provider of the Boston Breakers. By Minuteman Health. Minuteman Health invites you to join the revolution. Learn how to enroll at minutemanhealth.org. By CIP Insurance. Visit www.askcip.com. And by Rockland Trust. For more information on Rockland Trust, visit rocklandtrust.com. The NWSL is proudly sponsored by National Guard, by Nike, and by the U.S. Soccer Foundation. Welcome back to Harvard Stadium, a couple of moments away from the opening kickoff. The Spirit and the Breakers here tonight at Harvard Stadium. We take a look at the starting lineups down there on the field. You see for Washington, the Spirit coming in at 4-4-1 on the season, and the Breakers 2-6-0, winners this past Wednesday 4-1 against Portland. Washington coming off of a 3-2 win this past Monday at home against the Houston Dash. Let's take a look at those starting lineups. First for the Spirit. See Krieger, Dunn, Sierra, and Huster on defense. Midfield of Averbuck, Lindsay, Nairn, and Matheson, who we spotlighted in the open. Jody Taylor and Tanisha Adams, the forwards. Mark Parsons, the head coach of the Spirit. He took over last year on July 1st, right in the middle of the season. In goal tonight for the Spirit, Ashlyn Harris. She has started all now 10 games of the season. That 2.00 goals against average. She's made 33 saves, has allowed 18 goals so far on the year. Does have one shutout. Now we take a look at the lineup for the Boston Breakers, and it's, again, much different than we saw the last game Wednesday. You do not see in the starting lineup Jasmine Reeves or Kem Ezerike, who you'd probably say were the spark plugs for Wednesday's contest, but they are available on the bench tonight. And you see back in the lineup tonight, Lisa Devanna. After she came home from Vietnam playing in the Asian Cup, she had to serve a one-game suspension for a red card she got in the game at Sky Blue back on May the 3rd. Head coach Tom Durkin in his first season. Alyssa Nair makes another start in goal for the Breakers, second in the league with 39 saves on the year, a 2.38 goals against average. A couple of games ago against Chicago, she made 10 saves and a loss to the Red Stars. Two teams have made their way out onto the field. A beautiful night in Boston for soccer. This past Wednesday was a little bit chilly. We complained about it slightly, and we're looking forward to tonight. Clear skies overhead and 70 degrees as you see Juliana Duncan, the head referee for tonight's match. Washington will be in the road white uniforms moving right to left. And we are underway in Boston, the Spirit and the Breakers. And we thank you for tuning in alongside former Boston Breaker Catherine Donnelly. I'm Scott Sudikoff. And Catherine, Wednesday, of course, we saw a much different lineup for the Breakers. And as I said a few moments ago, definitely would tab Jasmine Reeves and Kem Ezerike as the spark plugs for that 4-1 win.
Yeah, we talked about leading up into that game, they were looking for a spark, and, they were struggling to find consistency before that game. So, desperate times called for desperate measures. Like I said, they just decided to shake things up completely. It seems like they're kind of going back to the starting lineup that they've had throughout this season so far, but we'll see them probably coming off the bench again and hopefully be that spark they need.
Have to wonder if watching the performance on Wednesday, players like O'Reilly, Sanderson, Lohman coming back into the starting lineup today, if that helps them get things going as well.
I'm sure it does. I mean, you never want to be on the bench, even if you're obviously happy for your teammates, and that you could see on their faces they were happy after the win. Smiles, high-fiving their teammates coming off that, haven't played that many minutes or started yet, and I'm sure they have some chip on their shoulder tonight, and they have things to prove. So,
Spirit coming in. They are undefeated in the last 3 matches. May the 17th beat Western New York 3-2. These games were all at home, at a 3-game homestand, then tied Sky Blue 3-3. And then this past Monday, the victory against Houston 3-2. Stoppage time goal in the second half by Christine Nairn for the victory. So the Spirit at 4-4-1, just outside of that top 4, of course, that make the playoffs at the end of the season. Played into space down the sideline as Kat Whitehill will play it back to her keeper, Nair.
You see Whitehill and King in the center back positions. The two of them, along with Nair, are the only 3 at this point now after Wednesday's complete shakeup of the starting line. They're the only 3 players that have played in every minute of every game, all 720 minutes, I think it is. So,
That'd be right, 720 minutes.
Yep.
The first 8 games of the season as King plays it up ahead for Heather O'Reilly, who did come into the game on Wednesday as a substitute. Now Sanderson, who also did the same on Wednesday, plays it out wide for O'Reilly at the edge of the box. The cross towards the far post, and it's up over the goal. Called it a cross. I thought that was probably her intent, but maybe not. Maybe trying to sneak that one in. That top corner underneath the crossbar. O'Reilly scored a goal a couple of games ago against Chicago, a penalty kick score. She's 4th in the league in shots on goal with 14. It's the goal kick from Ashlyn Harris, 28-year-old from Satellite Beach, Florida. And a whistle and a foul called on the field. Take a look at that opportunity for Heather O'Reilly.
Not a bad idea on her end, just trying to crack one, get some momentum started. And
to definitely say that was a shot, not a cross attempt?
It's just a cross. Half shot, half cross.
Didn't know that was a thing.
Oh, yeah.
A shacross,
Yep.
all right. Not sure if that's in the terminology booklet.
It's in mine.
This ball is switched to the other side, but taken back by Washington, Denisha Adams. Played out of bounds. Boston throw in. Nikki Washington on the near side, playing in her 5th game since rejoining Boston. Acquired from Houston in a trade on April the 29th. She played 3 games with the Dash.
And we've seen a lot of her versatility already. At her first game for the Breakers, she came in as an attacker, and since then she's been back and forth, mainly on the outside back. But it's good to have players like that on your team that can go anywhere and do well where they go in.
Seen that with Courtney Jones as well. Started
Yeah.
the year back as center back, and has really made her way up the field as the season has gone on. And she's scored a goal, had an assist so far in the year.
Yeah, she was started at center back. She played a little bit on the outside, and then, like you said, she's moved up to the attack, and that's where she played at UNC. So she knows what she's doing up there as well. But again, yeah, players like that with so much versatility, it's good to have them on your roster.
Foul called on Leanne Sanderson as she takes a moment to speak with referee Juliana Duncan. 5 minutes gone by. The Spirit and the Breakers, a beautiful Sunday night in the city of Boston. Played out wide for Crystal Dunn, 21-year-old U.S. national team player. The left-footed cross. King got a head on it. Kept near the top of the box, and now played out by Pathman. Ahead for Devanna. Haven't seen her on the field in a while, of course. Trying to use that speed as she played for the Australian national team in the Asian Cup. Qualifying for the World Cup next year. Did Australia, and then served the 1-game suspension this past Wednesday for the red card she was issued at Sky Blue. Crystal Dunn gives it up for Denisha Adams with Washington bearing down on her. That's Nikki Washington. Bounces down. Washington looking to control it, and out of bounds for a Boston throw-in. Nobody on the injury report today for the Breakers for the 2nd consecutive game, and for Washington, they have a couple of injuries of note. Robin Gale suffering a concussion on Monday against Houston, so she's out today. 1 goal in 8 games this year for the Spirit. And then Toni Presley, a PCL tear in her knee, has already been out for a couple of games, and Tiffany Weimer recovering from an ACL injury as well. Mewis turns to her left, looks to move up the field, gets taken down, and play continues. No foul called on the Spirit. They give the ball right back to Kat Whitehill. Allie Krieger able to control it, and will use her keeper, Harris. Two teams have been playing for many years now. Dating back, of course, before the NWSL. Washington Spirit, but they do play in Maryland. Out into space, nobody home for Washington as Julie King will let it go to Alyssa Nair.
They've been rivals since back when they were the Washington Freedom. As the WPS, and even before that, the WUSA. I remember being little watching them play. Mia Hamm was on that team, of course. I still have that poster in my bedroom.
Here's Nikki Washington. Taken away momentarily by Crystal Dunn. Now Schepfer with the left foot. Can't get it to Sanderson. Sanderson keeps it alive, and Lohman will play it back for Whitehill. Whitehill right down the center of the field trying to hook up with Devanna. Too much pace on it and picked up by Harris. Matheson is trying to rush forward. Now Sanderson loops it ahead. O'Reilly on the run, on sides at the top of the box. Switches to her left foot, saved by Harris. And then the rebound, Devanna puts it up high.
O'Reilly had a great first touch off that original pass to break away from the defender there a little bit. She makes another great touch, and Devanna wishes she had that shot back.
Take another look at this one. Sanderson starts it.
Great touch there.
Able to switch the left foot, and the right hand or right fist save by Harris to punch it. Unfortunately for her, she punched it right to Devanna, but Lisa Devanna could not score it. Devanna's been snake bitten a bit so far in her games with Boston. She's had plenty of opportunities at goal, but still nothing to show for it yet. No goals, no assists. Now her 5th game as a Breaker. Molly Pathman wins the battle there on the sideline for the throw-in. Christy Mewis didn't play on Wednesday against Portland after starting the first 3 games. She was available as a Breaker after coming back from an ankle injury. Lori Lindsay couldn't control it for Washington there, but the Spirit take possession back. Gail Averbuck gave it up. Breakers tonight wrapping up a 5-game homestand, 1-3 with that victory against Portland on Wednesday. Still a stretch, though, of 7 of 9 at home. They'll play at Kansas City next Saturday before being right back here on June 11th to take on this same exact Washington team, and then Seattle on June the 19th. And then begins the tough stretch of 7 consecutive road games through the end of June and all of July.
That's exactly why last game we talked about, they need to get these wins away when they could at home. So they got the job done on Wednesday, and they're going to look to get a win tonight before they head on the road.
We want to clarify, thank you to Meg Linehan for checking in on Twitter, that actually the Spirit were formerly the DC United Women before the NWSL, different franchise than the Washington Freedom. It's okay, Catherine.
Oh, sorry.
So thank you to Meg, who surprisingly not in the press box tonight, as Lisa Devanna enters the box, left foot, and right to Harris. Breakers, first 12 minutes of this game, have had the better of the opportunities. Harris has been forced to make a couple of saves. Foul on Boston. Spirit playing in their 4th road game today. Another look at the Devanna chance. 1-2 the record for the Spirit. Breakers, of course, have only played 2 games away from Boston this year. Two and 4 record at Harvard Stadium. Played into the box. Jody Taylor, who scored on Monday for the Spirit, 1 of 3 goals, trying to get it to Matheson. And it's cleared out. Kept alive, though, by the Spirit, Bianca Sierra. battling with Devanna, and Devanna takes it away. Trying to go to Sanderson, but intercepted. O'Reilly trying to drive that one far, and Denisha Adams got in the way. And now Adams able to play it back for Crystal Dunn. Sanderson stepped up, but back to Dunn. Ball bouncing back and forth a bit here. Second ball, Sanderson. And again, taken by Dunn. Into the 14th minute. Ashlyn Harris has made a couple of saves. One of them on a good left-footed shot by Heather O'Reilly, and then it led to Elisa Devanna rebound attempt that she couldn't finish. Spirit looking for their first real good opportunity of this one so far, as King taps it out of the box. And again, King gets in the way. Lohman lending some support. Mewis battling with Sierra. Throw in for Boston.
Aside from the O'Reilly and Devanna opportunity there's been no real huge chances on either side. I think possession's been decently even so far. It's been pretty back and forth.
Here's Tori Huster. Left foot to Crystal Dunn. Dunn trying to connect there with Lindsay, and Shepfer was there. Washington, good pressure on the ball right now.
Yeah, Washington was looking for someone to get open for her to pass to, but just kind of runs into the Spirit players there.
Well, the Breakers on Wednesday at this point had been dominating, had a 1-0 lead, and really controlled things the first 15 minutes against Portland, and led 3-0 at halftime. Haven't gotten off to the same start today. Again, the players that scored the 4 goals starting off on the bench tonight. Jasmine Reeves and Kem Ezerike. Lohman gets there before Jody Taylor can. And now Mewis. Sanderson making a run. So is O'Reilly. That pass onside. Heather O'Reilly. And a save by Harris. Got her foot on it.
It was like deja vu, pretty much. Her last breakaway is pretty similar to that.
Harris was down and kicked her right foot out to make that save, one-on-one against O'Reilly. So Ashlyn Harris has saved a couple of surefire goals so far.
The last one, O'Reilly cut it back to her left foot. This time she tried using her right foot, and both times she was stopped.
Sanderson's corner kick. Didn't really get all of it. Now serves it back in. And offside. Called on Boston.
A great pair of saves on her end to save 2 goals so far from the Breakers.
Just had that right leg out. Leanne Sanderson, you see her, 2 goals, 1 assist on the season. All came in that game against Houston back on April 20th, which was a 3-2 loss for the Breakers. And now I realize that doesn't really make much sense. 2 goals and an assist would be 3 goals for Boston, and they lost 3-2, so I miswrote down something there, but I know she had a good game in that one.
That's all that matters.
Denisha Adams with King there, and Adams takes the brunt of the contact. Now I'm going to be wondering all game, though, what I mixed up there.
Some nice footwork there.
Spirit looking for a chance. Scooped up at the post by Nair. The outlet coming to the near side. Schepfer gets there. Good job to keep it away from Christine Nairn. Now Nikki Washington connects with O'Reilly. Back to Washington. One touch down the sideline, and Devanna won't be able to get there as that one rolls out of play.
On behalf of the Boston Breakers players and staff,
Scott Sudikoff and Catherine Donnelly
to NFL Gardner.
here at Harvard Stadium.
And have a wonderful day.
Hope everybody's enjoying the first day of June. I know here in Boston people are, because it feels much, almost like it feels like spring finally, and summer to come in a couple of weeks officially as Whitehill plays it for Pathman, excuse me.
It's definitely a perfect day to play a soccer game, though. Not too hot, not too cold.
Room temperature, 70 degrees, 68, 72, right in that range, perfect. Boston throw-in coming in on the far side as we are in the 19th minute. Ashlyn Harris has made 3 saves so far for the Spirit, and a couple of them on. One of them for sure was a one-on-one with Heather O'Reilly. The first one was close to it as well. Spirit did have some defense bearing down on Heather O'Reilly on the first opportunity, but she's made a couple of big saves so far. Alyssa Nair has yet to be tested on the other side. She's been tested most of the season, though, and has really done her job. The goals against average might not show it, but considering the amount of shots that she has faced on the year. Coming into the game today, the Breakers, in terms of shots on goal, have been outshot 59-35. O'Reilly splits it between Devanna and Sanderson, where it gets cleared out by the Spirit. Washington serves it too far, and Ashlyn Harris lets it go out for the goal kick.
And if there was a negative thing about the game on Wednesday, if this is the only thing, Nair wished she probably came away with a clean sheet.
Yep.
Probably deserved one, but Sinclair scores her first goal of the season against Serba.
Breakers led that one 4-0, and then Christine Sinclair scored in the 61st minute, a couple of minutes after Jasmine Reeves had finished that hat trick. Don't forget, a couple of minutes after that, Jasmine Reeves almost had a chance for a 4th goal. On Wednesday, I did proclaim her already as the NWSL Player of the Week. We'll find out in a couple of days. Of course, some action left to play here, and also another matchup going on tonight, Seattle and Sky Blue, so things could change. Somebody could have a better performance. It'll be tough. The top 3 goals and an assist in one game. Lohman taps it for Schepfer. Let it go down the seam there for O'Reilly. Washington on the counterattack. Nairn, the center circle for Lindsay. Played back to Huster. And now for Averbuck. That pass did not go where she wanted it. So it kind of corkscrewed back the other way, and Boston gets a throw in.
So it looks like tonight Schepfer is playing more of a holding role in the midfield there as opposed to an attacking forward, which she usually is. And I've talked about for the past few games that she has a rocket shot. So maybe they're holding her back to look for those long-range shots tonight, mixing things up.
Whitehill back for King in the 22nd minute. We're just about through it, 22 minutes in. 0's on the board right now. Devanna able to settle it down. Now to Lohman. Pressure bearing down on her from Lindsay. Lohman gets away. Now to Sanderson. Sanderson on her right foot. To Shepfer. O'Reilly to Devanna into the box. And Harris makes the save, but it was offside. Devanna is one of the league leaders in offside calls. And you saw in the first couple of games played here, definitely trying to take advantage of that speed as you would expect. See here, O'Reilly to Devanna. Couldn't see exactly where she was when that pass was made, but I think it was probably the right call. It's Devanna going against Krieger right now. Krieger boxing her out. Good play by Allie Krieger, U.S. national team player from Woodbridge, Virginia. She's played every second of the season so far for the Spirit. Devanna still looking to get on the board for the first time this year. No goals, no assists. Had 6 goals last year in 17 games for Sky Blue. Washington retreats after it. Krieger. Washington on the near sideline. Gets it ahead for O'Reilly. One touch Shepfer. Sends it down the field. It bounces down free for Devanna and just couldn't get enough on it to put it up over the head of Ashlyn Harris. And that will bounce out for the throw in for Boston. Tanisha Adams not happy with that one. Great crowd on hand at Harvard Stadium on a beautiful Sunday night. To see the serve in from Shepfer, and Allie Krieger just couldn't get a foot on it. It led to this Devanna chance. Whitehill gets up for that one. Kept alive by the Spirit, though. Nairn to Lindsay. Had something going. Spirit, though, couldn't capitalize.
First real chance to look down at the crowd tonight. The seats are pretty filled.
We know those watching will see
say,
the side of the stadium that not used here at Harvard Stadium. We can look down and check out the crowd as Devanna in a foot race against Krieger. Krieger wins it. I know we always get questioned is why don't the fans sit on the other side of the stadium? A couple of reasons for it. Or mainly the fact that the main entranceway to the stadium is on this side of the field. This is where the press box is, where the camera is. So it's just a unfortunate setup.
So you'll just have
There
to
we
take
go.
our word.
Look at that. No, we got a camera on it. Checking out the crowd here in Boston tonight.
There we are. And you can hear the drums playing now.
Very good atmosphere tonight in Boston.
Definitely.
And Breakers trying to build off that 4-1 win on Wednesday. Shepfer out to Lohman. Spirit now. Chance to break it out and couldn't connect on the pass. Sanderson has that one blocked down by Huster. Comes down to Mewis, who couldn't control it. Lohman with the header to Sanderson. Now Shepfer. Trying to get it through there to Devanna. O'Reilly trying the same thing. It was blocked down by Dunn. Matheson angling back towards the middle of the field. Spirit give up possession. Mewis chips it along. Devanna will chase after against Krieger. And now Harris will control it for Washington. In the 28th minute, no score. Breakers and Spirit. Boston has had the better of the opportunities. Ashlyn Harris has made a couple of big saves. I believe unofficially 3 in total. Maybe 4. Shepfer, left foot, bounces down. Devanna and Sanderson going after it for Boston, but Krieger was there for Washington defensively. Now Krieger against Devanna. For Mewis at the edge of the box. Enters in, Mewis for Sanderson, trying to turn, shoots and scores! In the 29th minute, Leanne Sanderson makes it 1-0 Boston. Third goal of the season for Leanne Sanderson. Mewis found her. Sanderson was able to turn and
Great finish.
fire off with that right foot.
It was a great build-up by the Breakers. They've been finding that long ball over the back of the line, or the back line of the Spirit, all night long. They just haven't been able to finish it, and there you go.
So the Breakers on top. 29th minute. Leanne Sanderson from Christy Mewis.
I believe that's Mewis' first point on the season now.
First point as a Boston Breaker. And Sanderson is now tied for the team high in goals with Jasmine Reeves, of course, who scored all 3 on Wednesday. Sanderson last year led the Breakers in assists with 7, scored 5 goals as well. Let's see if Washington can answer back in the final 15 minutes of this first half of play. An ongoing theme for the Breakers the last couple of years has been A, building on an early lead, and B, holding on to it.
Right.
They were able to do that on Wednesday for the 4-1 win, but a couple other occasions on this field, namely the opener against Houston, where they had leads of 1-0 and 2-1, but eventually fell 3-2. The 3-1 loss against Chicago on May the 15th, they led that game 1-0. Before Chicago scored 3 in a row.
And of course, it's still early, but they're obviously not going to count out Spirit. They scored to win the game in the 90th minute last game, so.
Stoppage time.
Right.
Christine Nairn scored the winner on Monday. 3-2 win against Houston. Offside. Washington there. Nikki Washington. Houston did pick up a victory yesterday, 2-1 against Western New York, so the Dash now have 2 wins on the year, so 1 point back in front of Boston on the season. They have played now 1 more game than the Breakers this season. 10 for the Dash. This is the 9th game for Boston. Spirit playing their 10th game tonight with a 4-4-1 record. Devanna offside. Too good to be true there for Boston. Spirit play at the Maryland Soccerplex. The exact town/city is escaping me right now. I know I've been there before. As turning there is Crystal Dunn.
Nice little turn by her there.
Dunn coming up from the defensive position. That got knocked down by Whitehill. Was that a handball? But it's not in the box, right there at the top. Still though, now Washington. So take a look at it. And looked like it got the arm. dangerously close to being in the box, of course.
So the Breakers will put 5 in their wall. Pretty much everyone's back except for Lisa Devanna. This will be the first real chance, I feel like, for the Spirit.
See Yael Averbush right there. I believe I was mispronouncing her name earlier as Averbuck. I've been given clarification. And taking that and scoring it, Christine Nairn ties the game up for Washington. Her 3rd goal of the season, coming off that winner on Wednesday, the equalizer, in the 33rd minute for the Spirit.
So a nicely placed left-footed shot there. No real chance for Nair.
Nair going to her right against Nairn. And could not make the stop diving, but perfectly placed by Christine Nairn for her 3rd of the season. Interestingly enough, Nairn and Nair both played at Penn State. I don't believe not together. I think separated by 3 years. So 1-1, Mewis turning and firing with the left foot. Sends it up high.
And immediately after they scored, you saw Whitehill going up to the ref there just to discuss a little bit. I know there's always some controversy on handballs and whatnot, but it's unfortunate to give up a goal on a free kick like that.
Washington takes advantage. They won't have any problem with it.
Nope.
Nor should they. Those things tend to even out over the course of a season. Sometimes you're on the wrong end, sometimes you're on the right end. The Spirit take advantage. Christine Nairn with her 3rd goal of the season. She's played and started in 9 of the 10 Spirit games this year. So it was Leanne Sanderson in the 29th minute for Boston. And then the 33rd minute, Nairn, the equalizer for Washington. Foul goes on the Spirit.
Whitehill will step up to take the kick. You can see the Breakers have actually switched benches for this game. From our perspective, they've been on the left bench every home game this year. Tonight they are on the right side, so maybe they're switching things up even more this game, I guess.
You notice that immediately when they came out onto the field, they're warming up to our right.
Mm-hmm.
Another slight change for the Breakers. Wednesday was a big change in the lineup. Today it's a slight change in terms of where they are posted up in terms of the sideline and the bench.
GPS Lady Cavaliers. Stone Youth Soccer. Hillsborough Heat. Concord Soccer Club.
Devanna able to keep it in, tiptoeing along the sideline against Krieger. Now to Sanderson out top. The right foot is in! 2nd of the game for Leanne Sanderson. 2-1 Boston. We tend to see this with Leanne Sanderson. She rarely just puts one on the board. She'll score a couple in a game, or she'll have 3 assists in a game. Remember last year she had a hat trick of assists for the Breakers in one contest, and beating Ashlyn Harris to Harris's right.
It's a great setup by Devanna. So that's Devanna's first point of the season as well. The assist there is a great assist.
Devanna and Mewis picking up their first points as a Breaker, each with an assist today. Sanderson now with 4 goals on the season. Now she leads the team. 2-1 Boston, right back out in front. About 4 minutes after Nairn tied it up for the Spirit. Here's Crystal Dunn. Breakers offense, you would say, had been struggling mightily heading into Wednesday's game. But now 6 goals in less than a game and a half, with a 4 on Wednesday against Portland. They entered play on Wednesday, which is 7 goals scored on the season, and now they have 6 in the last game and a half.
The remainder of the groups attending tonight's match: Arlington Soccer Club, Brookline Soccer Club, Scorpions Soccer Club, and our Boston Breakers Academy players and families.
Alongside former Breaker Catherine Donnelly, I'm Scott Sudikoff. We thank you for tuning in at Harvard Stadium in Boston. Breakers looking for their 2nd straight win. After Wednesday's 4-1 win against Portland, the Spirit are undefeated in the last 3 games, 2 wins and a tie. All 3 of those games came at home. 3-2 victories over Western New York and Houston, sandwiched in between a 3-3 draw with Sky Blue.
Aflac is a proud partner of the Boston Breakers.
Spirit, after today, as this is the beginning of a 4-game road trip, will play at Chicago on Wednesday, be back here against Boston on June the 11th, before finishing off the 4-game trip with a matchup at Portland. Tori Huster gets it to Crystal Dunn. 21-year-old trying to work it by Schepfer. Lost it. Nikki Washington loops it down the sideline. O'Reilly catches up to it. Has Devanna coming towards her. Gets her the pass. Devanna turning. Gives to Sanderson.
Sanderson just assuming that there's a player making that run on the outside, but no one was there for Boston.
Holly Paffin was a ways away. And as soon as Sanderson let that pass go, she realized. Throw in for Washington just across midfield coming up. So we're almost 40 minutes in this 2-1 game. Boston on top. Washington without Robin Gale. She suffered a concussion on Monday against Houston. She had scored a goal in the first 8 games she had played. 1 goal total, not 1 goal in each. That'd be pretty impressive as it goes back to Harris. And she'll have to clear it out as Sanderson was coming right at her, and Harris doesn't seem to be too happy with her back line. Whitehill stepping up, keeping it alive. Jody Taylor was trying to break forward with it. Diana Matheson leads the Spirit in goals this year with 5. Jody Taylor checks in second with 3. As does Christine Nairn now, as she scored her 3rd of the season today in the 33rd minute. Other goal scorers this year: Lori Lindsay, Allie Krieger, Tanisha Adams, and Tori Huster. Each have 1 goal, and mentioned Robin Gale, not available today, has 1 on the season. Washington only has 4 players available on the bench today. Cuellar Perez, as that gets sent into the box, and will go out. Goal kick for Washington. Chantel Jones, the backup keeper, one of those 4 available as well.
Hey, Breakers fans, be sure to grab your Breakers Nike t-shirts, hoodies, caps, scarves, and replica jerseys at the merchandise stand located on the stadium concourse.
Nikki Washington got it to O'Reilly. Now for Julie King, for Kat Whitehill. Whitehill. Pathman trying to settle it down and couldn't do so. Well, we saw on Wednesday the change in the starting lineup worked well for Boston. Now changing back to most of the regulars and getting Lisa DeVanna back in there has worked as well. It'll be interesting to see what changes will come in the second half. Whether we'll see Jasmine Reeves, Kem Ezerike.
I'd be surprised if we didn't see Reeves come in after the game that she played on Wednesday.
She has played 4 games this year,
Right.
made a couple of starts. She has seen a good deal of time. Sanderson to O'Reilly into the box, to her left foot, trying to curl it in. Also had DeVanna making a run for that post. Ezerike was her first start on Wednesday, just her second appearance. She'd only played really, I think it was 10 minutes,
Yeah.
her first appearance. So she really had her debut this past Wednesday and scored in the second minute. As you see this chance for Heather O'Reilly, Huster there defensively. Not sure, maybe Huster grazed it.
Another player that we haven't really talked about, and Maddie Evans, Coach Turkin was really high on her after the game. Maybe not statistically speaking as good as the other girls, but she's a very quiet and stealth player, and she had a great game on Wednesday, so don't want to forget about her.
She did have an assist on one of the
one of the
three
you're
Reeves
right,
goals. So she did get involved that way as well. As Mewis gets knocked down, the foul will be called. Lori Lindsay not very happy with it.
And then, of course, Bianca D'Agostino played her first full 90 minutes since coming back from her injury in the year before. She had a torn ACL, so that was her first 90-minute game, and she did well also. So
Almost through the regulation part of the first half. Looks like there'll be 2 minutes of stoppage time added. Breakers started the scoring. Leanne Sanderson from Christy Mewis in the 29th minute. In the 33rd, it was Christine Nairn. After a handball was called on the Breakers just outside of the box, but it set up a great opportunity. About 20 yards away. Nairn tied it up, but then in the 37th minute, Leanne Sanderson scored again. This time from Lisa DeVanna. So into the 2 minutes of extra time. 2-1 Boston in this first half. Dunn able to get through Washington and then lost it. Sheffer looking to clear it down the sideline and out of bounds it goes. So not really what she had intended. A quick throw in by Adams to Dunn. And King with a bit of a miss kick. Dunn going up against Washington, and the foul is called on Washington. Nikki Washington, excuse me. Have to definitely clarify that one for the viewers. So now Washington setting it up. I believe is Christine Nairn. It is. Let's see if the Spirit have more stoppage time magic. The winner on Wednesday by on Monday by Nairn, back on Memorial Day. Denisha Adams sends it into the top of the 6, cleared out by the Breakers. Washington trying to keep the pressure on. Adams switches it over to Bianca Sierra towards Nair. Has to leap up, make the catch. Relatively easy, though. Come down to the waning moments of stoppage time in this first half. Long pass. Pathman trying to connect with O'Reilly. Now Sanderson gathers it, plays it back for Pathman. Pathman. And O'Reilly there. And there's the whistle. First half comes to a close. The first 28 minutes saw nothing on the board, but in the final 17 of the first half, 3 goals on the board. 29th minute, Leanne Sanderson for Boston from Christy Mewis. Washington tied it up. Christine Nairn in the 33rd minute. And the Breakers went back on top in the 37th minute. Sanderson scoring for the second time tonight. The assist from Lisa Devanna. 1 half in the books from Boston. The Breakers 2, the Spirit 1. Halftime it is now at the stadium, but keep it tuned here. We'll have highlight stats in the second half of action for you a little bit down the road, live here from Boston.
All right, Breakers fans, let's cheer them on as they attempt the We Got Soccer Center Spot Challenge. All right, contestants, are you ready? Set, go! All right, it looks like we have a winner. Breakers fans, let's hear it for the winner of our We Got Soccer Center Spot Challenge. National Guard is proud to be the official armed forces partner with the Boston Breakers. Be on the lookout for our grassroots soccer clinics in your area. Visit guardsoccer.com to find out how eligible high school age players, their parents, and coaches can learn of the many benefits offered by the Guard, including tuition assistance. That's guardsoccer.com. Visit nwxlsoccer.com for all your updated league information, team standings, and more. That's nwxlsoccer.com. Is your company concerned about the costs and regulations surrounding your medical insurance and 401k plan? Contact the CIP Group, a proud partner of the Boston Breakers, and let their team of advisors help you navigate the regulatory environment and maximize your employee benefit dollars. Visit AskCIP.com. Fans, be sure to follow @Nike Soccer on Twitter or visit NikeSoccer.com for all the latest news and information on Nike Soccer products. A small incision makes a huge difference. At Stewart Center for Advanced Cardiac Surgery at St. Elizabeth's, their team of expert surgeons offers the broadest array of conventional and minimally invasive cardiac surgery options. Some so innovative, they're not done anywhere else in New England, making St. Elizabeth Center the region's fastest growing cardiac center and earning us a national reputation as one of the top hospitals for cardiac care. Be sure to visit stewart.org/cardiac or call 617-789-2045. Stewart Health, the title sponsor of your Boston Breakers. The University Sports Complex, a partner of the Boston Breakers, is the largest sports facility in all of New England. The university is home to various sports camps, fitness classes, adult sports leagues, youth sports leagues, birthday parties, and more. Visit www.theuhanover.com for more information. Aflac is a proud partner of the Boston Breakers and an extra measure of financial protection. Major Medical pays the doctors in the hospitals, but when you're sick or hurt, Aflac pays cash benefits directly to you. And when you have an Aflac policy, it's yours. Even if you change jobs or retire, you can take your Aflac policy with you. For more information, visit aflac.com. Cats Sports Performance Center is the official performance training provider of the Boston Breakers. Visit catsports.com for location information or to set up a free trial training session. Cats is where the athletes and the Breakers train. TCG is a proud sponsor and the official IT services provider of the Boston Breakers. As a leading New England IT services provider and an active member of the community, TCG is very happy to support the Breakers every season. Check them out at tcgns.com or call 866-TCG-NETW for outstanding service and support. Bertucci's is a proud partner and sponsor of the Boston Breakers. Be sure to visit Bertucci's of Alewife Station after tonight's game at 5 Cambridge Park Drive. If you present your Breakers ticket with the purchase of any specialty pizza, you can receive one large, one topping pizza for free. We Got Soccer is proud to partner with the Boston Breakers for their
Boston Breakers Soccer is brought to you by Bertucci's, a proud partner of the Breakers. By We Got Soccer. We Got Soccer is proud to partner with the Breakers for their 2014 campaign. By the University Sports Complex, a partner of the Breakers, the largest sports facility in all of New England. By Stewart Health, the title sponsor of the Boston Breakers. By Cats Sports Performance Center, the official performance training provider of the Boston Breakers. By TCG Network Services, a proud sponsor and the official IT services provider of the Boston Breakers. By Minuteman Health. Minuteman Health invites you to join the revolution. Learn how to enroll at minutemanhealth.org. By CIP Insurance, visit www.askcip.com. And by Rockland Trust. For more information on Rockland Trust, visit rocklandtrust.com. The NWSL is proudly sponsored by National Guard, by Nike, and by the U.S. Soccer Foundation. The broadcast of this match is authorized by the Boston Breakers. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or other use of any image, sound, account, or description without the express written permission of the club is strictly prohibited. Tonight's match was produced by Turbo Sports Group, the official video streaming production company of the Boston Breakers. Welcome back to Harvard Stadium. We're at halftime. Boston 2, Washington 1, alongside former Breaker Catherine Donnelly. I'm Scott Sudikoff in a very good first half of play. It took 29 minutes for the first goal to get on the board, but that in about a span of 8 minutes, we had 3 goals put up. 2, of course, by Boston, and a 1 by Washington. Things got started in the 29th minute. Leanne Sanderson taking this pass from Christy Mewis, turning and putting Boston on the board 1-0. Her 3rd goal of the season there. Sanderson, Mewis, her first point as a Breaker, picking up her first assist. In the 33rd minute, Washington with the equalizer, Christine Nairn. The direct kick after a handball just outside of the box, so about 20 yards out there for Christine Nairn. Boston regained the lead in the 37th minute. Lisa DeVanna finds Leanne Sanderson right at the top of the box for her 2nd of the game, 4th of the season, now a team-high 4 goals for Leanne Sanderson. And the Breakers have that 2-1 lead here at Harvard Stadium, a beautiful Sunday night, June the 1st. Take a look at some of the crowd here inside the stadium. Good action on the field, good weather, and these fans are happy with what they see so far. So as we head towards the second half, we noticed heading into halftime that both Maddie Evans and Jasmine Reeves stayed on the field looking like they were warming up to potentially start the second half for Boston. So we'll see if that becomes official when we begin play in the second half. And the Spirit making their way back out onto the field right now. So Catherine, the Breakers, the changes on Wednesday, it worked out. Ezerike and Reeves were the stars of that one. Today, you're seeing Leanne Sanderson, who did come in the game Wednesday as a sub, but Christy Mewis didn't play at all on Wednesday. She was involved with an assist today. Lisa DeVanna, who was away from the team with Australian national team, had to sit out Wednesday's game, but she steps up as an assist on the play. So we're seeing, we don't know for sure, of course, but maybe it had an effect on a player like Leanne Sanderson to sit back, watch a game for most of the time, come out here and now take advantage of it.
If you want to give credit to them having rest and, taking the game off to rest those legs and, like you said, have time to watch, or if you want to attest it to them having a chip on their shoulder coming out for this game, either way, the normal, quote-unquote, normal starting lineup, they've had a great first half, and they'll look to continue to do that. Like I was telling you at halftime, the Spirit team has averaged about 2 goals a game, and they've had 4 games where they've scored 3 goals. So, and last game they scored in the 90th minute. So the Breakers aren't going to let up this half. They need to close out these 45 minutes, and we'll see if Reeves and Evans do come in. It looks like they're on the bench right now, and get some fresh legs from them too.
You mentioned the goal scoring for the Spirit. They have scored three goals in 3 straight games. A pair of 3-2 wins against Western New York and Houston, and the 3-3 draw at Sky Blue. They also have an earlier 3-1 victory this year against FC Kansas City. So clearly they are capable of putting a couple of more goals on the board. Diana Matheson, team leader with 5. She's tied for 3rd in the league with Portland's Jessica McDonald. Of course, Christine Nairn just scored her 3rd of the year in the first half. As you see, Alyssa Nair back on the field in goal for Boston. There is Christine Nairn, the goal scorer For Washington, the 23-year-old had the stoppage time game winner on Monday. The equalizer at the time tonight in the 33rd minute. And Leanne Sanderson along there with Heather O'Reilly. Sanderson 2 on the board. Tonight, 4 now on the season. Second half is underway in Boston. The Breakers move right to left in the second half. Lori Lindsay takes the turnover there. Plays it off to the near side for Bianca Sierra. Sierra waiting for some help. And instead will play it back. Allie Krieger. Krieger being pressured by O'Reilly. Needs to use Harris with Devanna chasing after her. And Harris forced to play it out of bounds. Boston will get a throw in deep into the offensive end. Bounces up over the head of O'Reilly. Back off of Washington. Another Boston throw in for Pathman. So no changes yet for either side. Again, Washington only has 4 available subs. One of them, of course, a keeper. Pathman looking to cross it with the left foot. Didn't have the curl on it. Goal kick for Ashlyn Harris. He's given up 2 goals, but could have given up a couple of more as well. Couple of big saves on Heather O'Reilly before any of the scoring got started. Sierra sending it towards the box and trying to make a run for it. Jody Taylor couldn't get there in time as Nair picks it off. Jody Taylor does have 3 goals on the year for the Spirit, scored 1 of those on Wednesday. Matheson also had a goal Wednesday. Throw in from Crystal Dunn. That'll bounce out off Sanderson for a Spirit throw. Into the box, Jody Taylor taps it in. And the Spirit tie it up.
The assist came from our pregame player to watch, Diana Matheson, number 8.
Matheson with the pretty feed. And a great finish by Jody Taylor. All tied up at 2 in the 48th minute.
Picks up her head, sends it. The perfectly placed pass there.
4th of the year for Taylor. 2nd assist of the season for Matheson. It continues the trend, for the most part, of players we highlight on the visiting team putting up some points on the board.
I think it's happened every game.
I think
sure
Jessica McDonald was shut out on Wednesday. So I think the one time it's happened so far at all the home games. Matheson gets the point on the assist. Of course, that tends to happen when you spotlight some of the best players in the league. They will do what they do. All tied up at 2. 48th minute, Jody Taylor scoring from Matheson. So this is the script that I mentioned for the Breakers, gaining a lead, not able to build on it, and not able to keep it. They've had leads twice now, 1-0, 2-1.
I'm sure that's what they discussed at halftime in the locker room, is they wanted to tie this game up early and then obviously try and take the lead. Coach Parsons said it was an important game on the road for them, and they were determined to start it well. They knew, obviously, after the win on Wednesday that Boston was coming into this game on a high, but they wanted to really stay focused, and there they go, tied it up.
Matheson plays it through, trying to connect, trying to let Jody Taylor at least go after it. This is a Spirit team.
Got
unbeaten.
A lot of spirit.
Spirited team, of course. Sorry, easy pun. I was trying to say the Spirit undefeated in the last 3. A couple of wins and a tie, so try to continue that strong play. Also today starts a 4-game road trip, so trying to continue the strong play, continue into a road trip, get off to a good start. It's all the, I guess, the cliched things you'd say. They ring true right now. 2-2 the score in the 50th minute. Sanderson a pair for Boston. And Nairn and Taylor for the Spirit. Lohman in the center circle. Give it up to Washington. Play back for King. King trying to get it to Schepfer. Got knocked away. O'Reilly able to get it now to Pathman. Mewis, who has an assist tonight for Whitehill. Return to Mewis. Space in front of her. She'll take it with Lindsay chasing after her. Mewis into the box. Fake the shot there. Now puts one with the left foot wide of the post. When untouched, it'll be a goal kick. Mewis, her first point as a Breaker with that assist on the first Sanderson goal in the 29th minute. Hanson, Massachusetts native. Played collegiately at Boston College.
She always has a pretty good fan base here at every game.
Happy to come back to Boston after last season with FC Kansas City.
It does look like Reeves and Evans are just starting to get up and shake their legs off a little bit and get warmed up on the sideline there. So we'll see if they make the jump into the game soon.
Devanna trying to make something happen on her own there. It's really the only one up the field. That pass off target as Nair controls it for Whitehill. Devanna, the header, angling it towards Sanderson, played away by Huster. Now Lori Lindsay is trying to get to Matheson, but Pathman was in the way. And Lohman against Lindsay. Backtracks it for Whitehill. Devanna, one touch to Mewis. Mewis gets bumped, foul, goes on Lindsay.
Lohman and Whitehill will be on this kick.
Dunn coming out of the box with it. Speed angling back towards the middle. Coming from behind, though, Julie King. Able to break it up. She's all the way upfield right now.
Good chance by the Spirit there.
It's finally here, a health insurance company governed by you, its members. As a proud sponsor of the Boston Breakers, Minuteman Health invites you to join the revolution. Learn how to enroll
Goal kick for Nair.
Health.org, or come visit us at the fan zone area today.
Matheson out wide for Sierra. Blocked down by Mewis, trying to keep control of it. Matheson back to it. Bounces free to Mewis. Matheson slow to get up. Grabbed at her right knee for a moment there, but maybe just banged it to the turf. That comes down to the box for Devanna. Trying to go for Sanderson there at the top. Mewis redirects it back in. Throw in for Boston. 2-1 Boston at halftime, but Washington tied it up in the 48th minute. Jody Taylor scoring from Diana Matheson. Pathman couldn't keep it in. Sanderson has both scores for the Breakers. Mewis and Devanna the assists.
And a rematch versus the Washington Spirit. Get your tickets online.
Wrapping up a 5-game homestand for the Breakers. Picked up the first win of it on Wednesday, 4-1 against Portland.
You're selling quickly, so don't delay.
One game coming up on the road at Kansas City next Saturday. Back here to Boston to play Washington on the 11th. In Seattle on the 19th of June. Again, before that 7-game trip. 7 games away from home. 2 in June, and then the entire month of July. 5 games on the road. The next home game after all of that, August the 3rd against Western New York. The Spirit beginning a 4-game road trip tonight, coming off of a 3-game unbeaten homestand. In fact, 4 out of 5 at home, 3 wins and a tie. Matheson gets through Whitehill, taps it in, and it's offside. Jody Taylor may have been moments away from putting the Spirit on top, but she was just offside.
And it looks like Maddie Evans is at midfield here to come into the game.
So next chance she'll be coming in for Boston. Devanna, right up the middle of the field, switches to her right, taps it through to Sanderson, looking for the hat trick. Saved by Harris. Bounces back out O'Reilly. O'Reilly left foot blocked down. Thought for a split second that may have caught the arm there. We've seen it so often, but clean play in the box, no foul.
That was a great little pass by Devanna there into Sanderson to start that.
Sanderson was making a bid to tie up match what Jasmine Reeves did on Wednesday in terms of a hat trick. Substitution coming. Maddie Evans checks in. Katie Schepfer will be coming off the field. So Evans will appear in her 5th game, made her first start on Wednesday, had an assist on one of the Reeves goals. 23-year-old from Glenside, Pennsylvania, played collegiately at Penn State, made her professional debut on June 1st of last year.
One Penn State player comes off and the other comes on.
Tonight's the 1-year anniversary of the pro debut of Maddie Evans, and that was right there in front of me, easy to figure out. She ended up playing 11 games last year, made a couple of starts. After finishing up at Penn State in the fall of, I believe it was fall of 2012, yeah. As Harris has to come up and scoop it up. In the 59th minute, all tied up at 2. First meeting of 3 this year. Next one, as mentioned, June the 11th, right back here. And then July 2nd, part of that 7-game road trip for Boston. July 2nd in Maryland to take on the Spirit. Throw in for Boston coming up on the far side of the field. Washington. Sanderson. Waston. Good play by King to stop Taylor from turning upfield. Whitehill with her left foot bounces it down to Mewis. Pathman stepped up and thought for a moment she could break free. Substitution again for Boston. Lisa DeVanna will be coming out. Jasmine Reeves checking in. So the player we spotlighted in the Open today, the hat trick and the assist on a Wednesday for Jasmine Reeves, will now appear in her 5th game of the year. Lisa DeVanna in her return from playing with the Australian national team and a 1-game suspension due to a red card comes off. And DeVanna did have an assist in this one. Reeves, 22 years old, finished up at Virginia Tech, her playing career this past fall, where she scored 11 goals. Mewis with the left foot fires it, trying to pick the top right corner. I think that's the first time since she has been on the field for the Breakers to see her really fire one off like that.
Bertucci's is a proud partner and sponsor of the Boston Breakers. Be sure to visit Bertucci's at Bill White Station.
It stays 2-2 in the 61st minute.
If you present your Breakers ticket with the purchase of any specialty pizza, you can receive 1 large, 1 topping pizza for free.
Bowman connects to Sanderson. Leaves it off into space, and it's the second time tonight that Sanderson just expecting one of her teammates to be there, or at least making a run to that spot. Matheson controls it with the right foot. Gives the pass to Lindsay. Couldn't connect there with Matheson. Reeves trying to feed it down to Sanderson. Washington throw it. Spirit will play at Chicago on Wednesday. Red Stars right now 2nd in the league. 6-2-1 record. Of course, they took 2 in a row from Boston on May 15th and May 18th. At Harvard Stadium. And that one lands about halfway up the seats in the stadium here on the other side of the field from us. Sanderson trying to get it to Evans. Lindsay knocked it away. Dunn will switch sides with it. One bounce controlled by the right foot of Sierra. Sierra, a long ball into space. Matheson running after it. Whitehill with the play defensively.
Nice calm play by Kat Whitehill there.
She's been on the field every single solitary second of the season for Boston. Close to doing that a year ago as well. And that long-range shot by Taylor goes high and wide. Taylor had the tying goal in the 48th minute after Boston led 2-1 at halftime. Her 4th of the season. She had one of the 3 goals. Or excuse me, that was not Jody Taylor on the shot. Averbush with a shot, number 4, not number 14. Point stands, though. Jody Taylor still had her 4th goal in the 48th minute today for the tying goal. 2-2. O'Reilly into the box with that dangerous left foot against Krieger.
She thought she earned a corner kick on that one.
Krieger and O'Reilly, of course, know each other fairly well.
I'd say so.
Could see this in national team practices a lot. Goal kick for Ashlyn Harris. O'Reilly has Reeves to her right, Sanderson to her left. Gives it to Reeves. Jasmine Reeves against Dunn. Looking for space to send it towards Sanderson. We have to know Washington does exactly what Reeves did on Wednesday, and they have their eyes on her. Not to say that Portland didn't think she couldn't pull off what she did on Wednesday, the 3 goals and the assist, but just a slight more focus knowing that she's done it on the field as a professional. And knew she could score goals collegiately. 11 this past year. Sanderson can't get to it. Goal kick for Washington. Sanderson, member of the English national team. Back in May, at her 38th cap. Matchup against Ukraine. Played 62 minutes. Both goals tonight for Boston. Breakers looking for their 2nd consecutive win, trying to finish off this homestand with the 2-3 record if possible. After dropping the first 3. 2-6. 0 overall on the year. Spirit at 4-4-1. Trying to continue a streak of 3 games unbeaten. 4 of 5. A chance for the Spirit. The right foot shot blocked down. And a foul will go on Boston there. Sanderson.
They play quickly here.
Sierra.
There are those fresh legs from Reeves.
Going after Huster. Stepping up to take it, O'Reilly. Evans. And now Sanderson trying to send it deep with O'Reilly and Reeves in the area. Served ahead. Taylor going after it against King. King will play it out of bounds. Washington has never led tonight. Boston 1-0, 2-1 leads. Spirit got the equalizers. The equalizer in the first half, 4 minutes after the initial goal by Boston. Sierra sends it up high. 4 minutes after the initial goal in the first half. And then it took 3 minutes into the second half to tie it up after the Breakers reassumed the lead 2-1 in the 37th minute on Sanderson's 2nd goal of the contest and 4th of the year. Nairn and Taylor, the goal scorers for Washington. Assist on the Taylor goal went to Diana Matheson. Washington has made no changes. 2 subs for Boston. Reeves and Evans have checked in. Devanna and Schepfer have gone to the bench in the second half.
All 3 subs for the Spirit are off the bench, warming up a little bit on their side, and it looks like Ezerike is about to come up to midfield to go into the game as well now.
Ezerike scored in the first 2 minutes on Wednesday to get things going for the Breakers, along with Jasmine Reeves, as Reeves assisted on that one. The changes in the lineup paid dividends less than 2 minutes into the game on Wednesday for against Portland, and so most of the lineup changed back today, but Breakers have still seen a lot of good, positive play. Washington, though, has kept pace. Spirit right outside of the top 4 right now. 1 point behind Portland. As here comes Kem Ezerike. She'll come in for Christy Mewis. Ezerike out of the University of Michigan, the 8th overall pick in the college draft. All-time career leader in goals and points for the Wolverines. 22-year-old now playing in her 3rd game for the Breakers. Made her Canadian national team debut back in March. A native of Nova Scotia. Her parents and grandparents, though, from Nigeria. Number 22 on the field. She'll play at the top with Reeves. They were a deadly combo on Wednesday. 2-2 game in the 72nd minute now, as they form the team now in that 72nd minute. Reeves got it along to Evans. Evans serves it towards the box, bounces down free. Dunn there first for the Spirit. Deflected it there. It stays alive. Comes right to O'Reilly, who she was down on one knee for a moment, and the ball trickled right back to her. Ezerike angles it towards Sanderson. Lindsay and Nairn trying to start it forward for Washington. Bad pass, Whitehill. And down on the field there, Taylor definitely got her fingers on it, her hand on it. Catherine clearly saw that. Let's take a look at it. Fall and Sanderson on the kick right now. It's 45 yards away from the goal line. Whitehill there with the header. It's in. Offside. No goal. Flag up on the far side of the field.
That's too bad for Whitehill because that was a pretty play.
Whitehill scored a 1 goal last year, looking for her first this year. Again, hard to tell for sure where she was when that pass was off the foot of Sanderson, but offside, the call on the field. Wipe away the goal for the Breakers. Ezerike can't control it. Matheson battles with Evans. Matheson comes out with it. Try to get it to Nairn. Taylor takes it away from Lohman. A great play. Breaking in. Washington trying to help. But Jody Taylor makes it 3-2 Spirit on the steal and the breakaway.
That was just a miscommunication from Boston there with Whitehill and Lohman.
Jody Taylor tied it in the 48th minute and gives Washington the lead in the 74th. And you see Whitehill and Lohman, the quick moment. Nikki Washington did all she could to get back into the play. 5 goals now in the season for Taylor, 2nd of the game. 3-2 Spirit. First lead of the night for Washington. Such a change of momentum after Boston had scored. Yep. Of course, the offside wiped it away, and then about a minute later, the Spirit take the lead. Plenty of time left, of course. Breakers now play from behind.
For the Spirit, though, that makes the 5th game in 10 games that they've scored 3 or more goals now, of course.
Just as we came out of halftime, we made mention it was 2-1 Boston, but this is a Spirit team that have put 3 goals on the board 3 games in a row entering tonight. 4 times on the season, now 5 times. As Enrique blocked down Evans. Can't hook it in towards that post.
So we have Evans, Ezerique, and Reeves as the fresh legs coming in this half, all in attack.
Sierra sliding down on the initial block. Maddie Evans still looking for her first professional goal. Today is her 16th game as a pro with the Breakers. 11 last year, 11 games. Ashlyn Harris in the Spirit, working with a lead for the first time as a substitution for the Spirit. 2 of them waiting. Cuellar and Perez waiting. Perez comes in for Lindsay. And then Cuellar coming in for Jody Taylor. Well, if you're Boston, you're happy to see Taylor go off, but she scored 2 in a row. 3-2 Washington. Cuellar playing in her 8th game for Washington. Scored 5 goals for FC Kansas City last year before she was traded to Seattle. 7 games with Seattle, 11 with FC Kansas City last year. And
We may have a player down for the Spirit.
I think that's Perez who just came in.
Having her eye, I think. And the Breakers huddle up to regroup and try and figure out the last few minutes of this game.
She got, not sure, Logan's foot got up high there, or maybe a finger poked her in the eye. Perez playing her 9th game for the Spirit.
Might have been the ball.
It's hard to tell
Yeah,
for
it's
sure.
hard to tell. She does go off, though.
She'll come off the field for the time being. Doesn't look like they'll be subbing for her. $2,876 in attendance tonight at Harvard Stadium. As play restarted, it's played to Washington by Sanderson. Perez still on the sideline right now, being tended to. Still on the in-play side of the boards there. Looks like she'll be trying to come back in as soon as she can. Reeves will get called for the foul there as she pushed Averbush out of the way a little bit. 79th minute, Washington 3, Boston 2. Breakers led 2-1 at halftime, but Jody Taylor in the 48th and 74th minute. Goals scored to give the Spirit the lead. Taylor just came off the field a moment ago as a substitution. Taylor and Lindsay went off. Perez and Cuellar came on. Funny note in the league tonight. The exact same announced crowd at both Harvard Stadium and for Sky Blue tonight. 2,876. What are the odds of that?
Very interesting.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. Substitution for Washington in the 78th minute.
Nairn.
Number 17, Veronica Perez.
Pass on the near side taken away. continuing with the theme of not giving spoilers of other games in action, we will not give you the score of that one. Again, I know some fans like to watch each game of the night in full, or go back and watch it and not be spoiled, at least after the fact. So if you want to know the score of that game, you can switch over. I advise you not to, of course. You can stay with us. Or, of course, you can have both going at the same time. We know that's a possibility. Sanderson into the box. It bounces down for Ezerike.
She muscles off about 5 Spirit players there.
Got it off to Lohman, left foot. And almost had that top left corner picked. Good chance for Joanna Lohman. Ezerike used her strength to keep it alive in the box, but she had 3-4 white jerseys around her. Hard to tell from our vantage point how close that was to the corner there. Corner of the goal. 81 minutes in. Spirit took the lead in the 74th minute. Breakers scored the initial goal of the contest back in the 29th. Sanderson, Nairn tied it in the 33rd. Sanderson gave Boston the lead back in the 37th minute. And then Jody Taylor in the 48th and 74th minute. 3-2 Spirit lead. First matchup of 3 this year back here at Harvard Stadium on June 11th. And then they'll play in Maryland, the Maryland Soccerplex, on July the 2nd. Maddie Evans at the corner of the box. With the right foot to the far post. Sanderson, left foot, trying to put it up over the head of Harris. And underneath the crossbar, maybe get it to that far side from her vantage point, but too much on it. Of course, would be a hat trick. Sanderson could score.
Great cross by Maddie Evans here. Perfectly placed right on her foot. Just, it's harder than it looks when you're only 3 feet away from the goal to just tap it in there. I know, I've been there, done that.
I think initially Sanderson was looking to try the header. Alongside former Breaker Catherine Donnelly, I'm Scott Sudikoff. We're at Harvard Stadium in Boston. Play whistle down, Washington possession coming.
There's Reeves trying to speed things up, but of course the Spirit are taking their time on this free kick, just time management, of course.
Maddie Evans knocked away from behind by Veronica Perez, we failed to mention, came back onto the field after being shaken up. That bounces down for Denisha Adams, and it goes up over the goal and hit the net behind the goal there. That was almost a bad break for Boston. Denisha Adams almost took advantage. Nikki Washington is there defensively, but Spirit still with the 1-goal lead in the 84th minute. Reeves on the run against Huster. Reeves got to it, deflected it out. Corner kick for Boston. This is their first corner kick since very early in this one. Nisha Adams had a chance to make it 4-2 potentially. Here comes the corner kick for Boston. Heather O'Reilly taking it. Trying to tie things up. O'Reilly gets into it with her right foot. The Whitehill header. Harris, though, covers it up. Whitehill scored one on a header earlier that waved away on an offside. Sanderson back upfield for Boston. Into the box. Reeves can't get there. Huster was there first. Deflected out. It's a goal kick. Reeves last to touch it. Here's that chance. Whitehill header. A little further out than she would have liked.
Just about 5 minutes to go here in regulation time.
Should get at least 2 or 3 minutes of stoppage time, but still 5 minutes from that. Had 2 goals and
She did earn a corner kick there.
some injury time. And Ezrique helps set up this chance for Boston. Heather O'Reilly goes to take the corner kick. Reed standing right at the goal line behind Harris, now comes out from the post. O'Reilly to the far post. Washington got a head on it. Whitehill trying to settle it. Played out. Lohman to Pathman. Out wide where O'Reilly is left alone. O'Reilly with the right foot. Bounces to Whitehill. Playing it across where Reeves and King were running towards the post. Not there in time. It remains a 3-2 game into the 87th minute.
Great one touch right there by Kat Whitehill. That's hard to do.
And you can tell that she was trying not to put too much on it.
Not sure how it got through so many players, but
I know a lot is made of this field. It probably is a little quick. She was trying to take as much off it as possible, but not enough there. Harvard Stadium, the home to Harvard University football, men's lacrosse, women's lacrosse. Also home to the Major League Lacrosse team of the Boston Cannons, near and dear to Catherine's heart.
that's right.
Heather O'Reilly got by Dunn. Dunn with the slide. It'll be a corner kick as Washington will use their final substitution. Christine Nairn will be coming out, I believe. Oh, not yet, of course. Corner kick for Boston. So
There she goes, taking her time.
excuse me, they can do the substitution. I think I'm mixing up collegiate rules right now. Forgive me.
Sanderson, it looks like, will actually be taking this corner kick, and O'Reilly's in the box this time. Just leaving Washington and Pathman midfield.
Entering the match is number 28, Jordan Angeli.
Angeli, of course, was a former breaker way back in the day.
Jordan Angeli on for Nairn. Comes out of the box, back to Lohman. Lohman with the right foot and trying to pick that corner. It's Harris. Made the leap. Angeli celebrating her 28th birthday yesterday, May the 31st. That's Lohman. Another look at the shot. I just gave you a wide open layup there, mentioning Jordan Angeli's birthday yesterday, turning 28.
Number 28, turning 28.
Not that.
Oh.
All right. Don't want to take up too much time.
Oh, I'm sorry. It was also someone else's birthday this week.
All right, back to the game. you missed
Sorry.
the opportunity.
I hope you had a great birthday.
Thank you. 89th minute, 3-2 Washington. Back to what's really important, of course. Diana Matheson taken away. Crystal Dunn there. Yes, Jordan Angeli and I, born 2 days apart.
The Breakers, of course, were so nice to have given you a win for your birthday present.
The day before, correct. O'Reilly, we're in the 90th minute. Check to see the stoppage time allotted in just a moment. It'll be a throw-in for Boston. Washington took the lead in the 74th minute. 2 goals in the second half by Jody Taylor. Going up for the header there, and Maddie Evans couldn't get a piece of it. Back to Molly Pathman. Left foot, Sanderson there, but Harris comes off her line to grab it. And we are about to enter stoppage time, and it is going to be 3 minutes. Whereas the fourth official is holding it E. Now holding it up the other way. 3 minutes. Foul.
Sanderson's down.
And the Breakers, of course, want to start things up as quickly as possible. 3 minutes of extra time. It's just begun.
Ladies and gentlemen, tonight's attendance is 2,800.
Another tough one for the Breakers to drop.
Thank you for your continued
Trying to build off Wednesday's 4-1 win. Had leads of 1-0, 2-1. Spirit looking for their second straight win. Trying to be unbeaten in 4 in a row. Sanderson. King. Evans going up for it. Got bumped off by Perez. Whitehill, Evans there. And what do they call it?
I think a high kick on Evans. Here's the replay.
Tanisha Adams taken down. A whistle, the foul goes on Boston. Spirit scored their winning goal in stoppage time on Monday.
Very
3-2
true.
win. Breakers. Probably not enough time for a winning goal, but still enough time to tie this up and steal a point if possible. Breakers have yet to have a draw this year. Washington waiting to get things going. Nikki Washington. Instead, taken by Whitehill. Comes down for O'Reilly. O'Reilly races forward. O'Reilly off wide to Reeves. Cross. Knows O'Reilly heading back towards the goal, trying to get it back from Reeves.
Great build up by O'Reilly to Reeves.
Sanderson is out. Goal kick. Sanderson claiming that it was touched by Washington. Or one could assume that's what she's claiming. So we're going to look at it. Done. Close. Breakers now in desperation mode. Cuellar trying to keep possession deep in the Spirit offensive end. Waste that time. King has the rush for the throw-in. Spirit very close to a 5th win on the season and 2nd in a row. Go above 500 and for the time being jump into 4th place, and they will. The Spirit come from behind and beat Boston tonight 3-2. The Breakers led 1-0, 2-1, but Jody Taylor scores a pair of goals in the second half in the 48th and 74th minute. Now has 5 on the season, and the Spirit come away with a victory 3-2. Another tough one for the Breakers to lose, especially at home. A lot of positives coming out, of course, Wednesday's 4-1 win, and probably a lot of positive play out of this one as well. Had that early lead, the lead twice. The old problem came back to bite them again, though, holding on to it, extending it, holding on to it, eventually falling tonight to a very good Washington team.
Of course, that's how Washington wants to start off their road trip, and unfortunately for the Breakers, that's not how they want to go into their road trip. So.
Yeah, finish off a 5-game homestand. Unfortunately, only go 1-4. Not what you pencil in at the start of a homestand. The initial goal in this game came in the 29th minute. Leanne Sanderson from Christy Mewis. 1-0 Breakers. Washington was able to tie it up just a couple of minutes later. Christine Nairn on that direct kick, her third of the season in the 33rd minute. Breakers, though, able to regain the lead in the 37th minute. Lisa Devanna finding Leanne Sanderson. Fires this one from the top of the box, 18 yards out. Scores it. 2-1 was the score at halftime. And then Washington in the 48th minute. See the setup. Diana Matheson feeding it along for Jody Taylor. Redirects it in. That tied it up at 2. Then the 74th minute. See how it developed. Just a miscommunication. Lohman, Anna Whitehill, Taylor read it, took it away. One-on-one against Nair. Washington trying to help. And that was the game winner, Jody Taylor. 2 tonight. And gives the Spirit the 3-2 victory tonight in Boston. But Catherine, as I said, there has to be some positives to take out of this one.
Sure.
Breakers
Sure, yeah.
much better play. Of course, the 4-1 win on Wednesday and continuing here today.
Yeah, I mean, it was a close one. It was a back-and-forth game all night. Like I was saying, the Spirit, you know, they've averaged 2 goals every game. They've had, now this is their 5th game with 3 goals.
Four straight
yeah,
of 3 goals.
Exactly. So they know how to come back. Last game they scored in the 90th minute to do the same. The Breakers obviously had a lot of success on Wednesday. 3 of those subs coming in the second half, so maybe he'll mix things up again next game and take it from there on the road.
So that'll just about wrap things up. With the victory, the Spirit are now 5-4-1 on the year. They jump into 4th place in the league with 16 points, and they'll be on the road Wednesday to play at Chicago. Meanwhile, Boston falls to 2-7-0. They finish their road trip at, their homestand at 1-4. Still just the 6 points on the season at the bottom of the NWSL standings. They will be on the road next Saturday to play FC Kansas City before coming back home June the 11th to play this same Spirit team, a 7 o'clock kickoff. On behalf of my broadcast partner, Catherine Donnelly, I'm Scott Sudakoff. Once again, the final score from Harvard Stadium, the Spirit 3, the Breakers 2. So long from Boston.